the approach that we have had with USAID and the other things like the President's Initiative on AIDS, how does our U.S. approach compare and contrast to the approach of Russia in Africa and also Communist China in Africa?
Oh, Chairman, we've always had the lead. So what you're seeing in those two competitors or challengers, they're following in our wake. They see what works as far as our influence and deepening partnerships through those soft powers, whether it be health diplomacy or whether it be in development type programs. So they're following in our wake, trying to replicate what we do best. And I think the African countries know this, and so this is where, as we start to look at going forward, as State Department starts to reset these programs, looking at what worked and what didn't work, and doubling down on what does work. I think we have enough capital built up in these countries for them to ensure their stabilization and also prosperity. The other two competitors are just trying to replicate what we do best.
The choice of word competitor, I think, is very interesting that that's the word he went with, because you see, people are always going to tell on themselves. It's only a matter of whether or not you are willing to listen to what they're actually telling you. In this section of the video, they are making it seem like, oh, the US have been in Africa doing all of this good, and these other people are coming in here and they're trying to compete and do more good than we have been doing and buy the African people over with this good, and the African people are going to pick them over us. That's the image you're painting here, when in actuality, what is actually going on is they are fighting over territory. They are saying Africa is their territory to do whatever they want to with, and all these other people are coming over and trying to take our territory away. It's not about whatever good that they're trying to make it seem like they're doing here. They are doing absolutely no good on the continent. They have been sucking us dry. That's what they have been doing on this continent. They have not done any good for us. And it's very interesting they're talking about USAID, right? Which, by the way, guys, for those of you who don't know, recently one congressman from the US by the name Perry outed the USA and spoke about how they actually use USAID to fund terrorists in Africa and other countries in the Middle East, right? And in Asia as well. He mentioned Boko Haram, saying that they were the ones funding it, which, do with that information what you will. But back to this clip, what we are seeing here is them people are saying them other countries, right? He mentioned China. At some point in the clip, there's going to be mention of Russia, but that's besides the point. But what they are saying is these other countries are going to Africa and they are using the tactic that they have been using, and they don't like that. So that's what they are talking about. This is not about any good that they are doing and how pissed they are that other countries are going over to Africa as well and doing the same good that they used to do. Roll eyes are good, right? Because really, let's talk about it. If they are really good, if they are really good people and what they are doing on the continent is good, if they are lovers of good, why are they so pissed that some other countries are going to Africa to do good? What good person gets angry when more good is happening? This is how you know this is not about them doing no good. That's why the choice of word compete is very important, that you pay attention to that choice of word, because that word right there, compete, tells us all we need to know about what they're truly about for those who don't already know. If they are both truly about being good, they would not be competing with one another. They would be working together to make sure these quote-unquote goods that they are about and want for the continent would come into fruition. That's how you know.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that in order to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, is all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that. And there are nefarious actors in the CCP and sometimes Russia are complicit in those activities.
That black general has got to be the biggest fool, letting them people use it like that. See how we just threw the question at him specifically, so he'll be the one to say it. The black people who still fall for this ish. That clip from Dr. Umar Johnson comes to mind.
Every time an African baby is born, after we pray over that beautiful African life and wish that baby well and wish their parents well, we then have to cross our fingers. We then have to cross that fingers because that little beautiful African baby, that little boy or girl, that divine gift of supreme consciousness, in 20 years could damn well be a coon. In 30 years could damn well be a coon. I'm just giving y'all straight talk tonight. I'm giving y'all straight talk tonight. When we celebrate our high school graduates, you have to step back and ask yourself, how many of this graduating class of 500? How many of this graduating class of 300? How many of this graduating class of 1,000? How many of this graduating class of 5,000 are going to be coons? You have to ask yourself.
It really is going to always ache my spirit whenever I'm listening to any of these, meetings that they be having over in them countries, right? And I see a black brother or a black sister just like I'm always going to have that thing in me, like, what are you doing? Even on the continent, they exist here. Where they'll be saying this stupid ish, like, the one we have ruling us in Nigeria, that was last year, talking about how Nigeria needs to go and do something about what Ibrahim Traore is doing. The people of Burkina Faso, they are not pissed that the guy is there. They are happy he's there. He's doing a good job. So what are you talking about that we need to go and... The point is, these people exist everywhere. Even on the continent they are there, we have. And it's always like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Really? Like, who are you trying to please? Definitely not us. Nigerians were not pleased when the president said that at the time. Like, we get it, you are a puppet, but have some decency, have some self-respect and chill. You look goofy AF. Like, what do you mean you want to go to Burkina Faso to stop the good brother there that's doing this good thing for the African people in Burkina Faso? Like, what the F are you talking about? Like, sitting there as a black man and letting these people use you as a front to bring down and destroy another brother, a good man, by the way, who's doing right by his people, right by his country.
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
We need to do something about the cones, for real.
Okay, well, you can't imagine how frustrating it seems to me that this mineral-rich continent has not been able to move to a utilization of the resources to benefit the people there. After all this time, it's a puzzle that we haven't unwound.
Is it throwing stones and hiding their hands for me? And the feigning ignorance. Like, they don't know exactly what's going on the continent and why it is that it's not reflected on the people. They know. They are the reason why it's like that. Some countries don't even have access to their own mines and their reserves and their resources. They like to act like their hand not there for the matter. Like, the reason why the continent is the way it is not because of the things that they are doing. It's not because when good leaders show up, they unalive them. They be talking about corruption. Like they are not the ones who made sure the corrupt people, the quote unquote corrupt politicians, are the ones in power. Acting as if they are not very much involved in our electoral processes and deciding who gets to be in power. They are coming in the guise of always misusing. Like, imagine wanting to tell someone that how you choose to use your property, your own property, something that is yours. You want to tell them how they can use it. It's the audacity for me, right? But these people are saying that he's misusing resources. By the way, right now in Burkina Faso, education is now free. Hospital is free. Amongst them, other things that he's been doing. Factories he's building, all of them other stuff. Altogether making life easier and better for the Burkina Faso people. Meaning he's using said resources well. But they are saying he's misusing, or Africans are misusing generally, but narrowing it down to Mr. Ibrahim Traore and Burkina Faso. The point here is, to them, he's misusing resources because he's prioritizing his people. He's prioritizing his people, he's prioritizing his nation. They are no longer the priority. They are no longer getting access to these things like they used to. So now it's a misuse. Right now, there is a problem. Now we have to bring in all of these terms, rather they are now bringing all of these terms, misusing, creating all of these issues because, they're not getting things the way they wanted to anymore. They see him as a threat, right? They see all of these countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Senegal, the things they are doing, the reforms that's going on. Revolution is happening. Slowly, Africa is uniting and it's a problem for them. So they are holding all of these meetings, talking about Africa, talking about Burkina Faso, talking about these places. Imagine at your country, you just sit down and this other country people are discussing. Anytime I see these meetings, I'm always like, what in the Berlin conference is going on here? Because that's genuinely what it gives to me. Is the energy is the exact same energy where they gather around and be discussing Africa, talking about what's going on here, what we are doing, why are they doing that, why are they not doing this instead? We should go in and do that. We should leave us alone. Leave us alone. Now it's a misuse of resources because it's not getting used how they would like for it to be used. The reserves, they don't have access to it how they would want to have access to it. They don't have rights to these things anymore how they would have loved and preferred for them to have access to it or to them. There is also talks about them wanting to arrest Ibrahim Traore. They're bringing all of these accusations on the guy and just cooking up different means to try and take him down. I also heard that Saudi Arabia is joining them on this because they are allegedly pissed that he did not agree to the mosques they wanted to build over there in Burkina Faso. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but a little while ago, Saudi Arabia had reached out to the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore. They had offered to build, if I'm not mistaken, was it 20 mosques? And Mr. Ibrahim, man with sense, he said no, that they don't need any more mosques or prayer houses. They have enough. What they want to focus on in the country is building factories. They want to focus on doing more actual productive things, right? And as you could imagine, Saudi Arabia, they were not happy with this decision. This is how you know a man that have sense. It's not hard to spot one. It's the decisions that they make. By their fruits, you shall know them. Even though he's a Muslim, he could say, yes, I know, I believe in God and all of those good stuff, but I can actually use logic and know that right now what my people need is not more mosques or prayer houses. They need factories, we need to be productive as a society, we need to grow our economy, and mosques isn't one of the things that's going to help us do that. Prayer isn't going to elevate us. What we need is to be out there working and doing the things that we need to do to get ourselves from the floor. So Mr. Ibrahim Traore told the Saudi Arabian people, if you want to invest in the country, if you want to do or build anything in the country, come and build factories. That's what we need. We need places where people can be productive and work and help their life and change their situation. We don't need more prayer houses. We have enough. But I bet if they had come and asked the one in my country, my beloved country, or told him that they want to come out, that one would have agreed. That's how you know the difference between the man that has sense and the one that doesn't. And once again, we have another evidence here for the upteenth time, right? Showing that these people, they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. They want us on our knees. They want us distracted and on our knees. Each and every single one of them. All of them, all the ones that are not us, they are doing everything within their power. They are trying to do everything within their power to distract us and keep us on our knees, because they know that the moment we stand up, that's when, things are going to start going south for them. Hence why the Saudi Arabian people offered to build mosques, 200 mosques for African people in Burkina Faso. Because regardless of whether or not my people want to accept this, the fact still remains, and it would always be, that these Abrahamic religions is of no use, of no benefit, of no good to the African people. Hence why they keep offering it to us. If this religion was all that, if it was this good, we know they would hoard it like they hoard everything else. They don't even want us having access to our own resources. Is this something that belongs to them, that came from them, that is of them, they will not offer to us? No, these people are stingy AF. And don't forget, wicked AF as well. Because we know how much these people hate our behinds. We know what they have been doing to us historically. But somehow when it comes to religion, they all of a sudden love us and want to make sure we make it to heaven or Jannah. How can someone who don't like, not to even talk about love, the physical you that they see? They don't care about the physical you that they see. But somehow they care about and love your soul and want to make sure your soul go to heaven. People who cannot share planet with you, they don't want you in their countries. You go over there, they treat you like less than they treat animals, right? But somehow your soul is precious to them. They care about your soul. Let's make it make sense. They don't want you in their countries. They don't want to stay in the same country with you. They don't want to be in the same space with you. Some of them don't even want you in their prayer houses. The multiple stories we've come by of people talking about how they went to certain mosques and the Arabs there, were ready to desist towards them. They don't want them in the same prayer houses, right? They don't want to be in your space. They don't want you in their space. But somehow they want to spend eternity in heaven with you, or in Jannah. They want to spend eternity in Jannah with you. They don't want you where they are at here on earth, but in heaven, they want you around. Cap. All of this is an agenda. They know just how much of a tool religion is, and they have been using it for centuries to keep the African people down. Centuries. They want us in this position on the screen, on our knees with our heads on the floor. They want you distracted, praying to Sky Daddy with your head buried in the ground, because they know that when you are in this position, you are defenseless. You are open from several different angles. And I say that no pun intended. They can literally come in and do whatever the F they want to do, and you would not see them coming, nor would you even see them leave. That's why they are funding or want to fund these prayer houses, because it's a tool they use to keep the African people distracted and praying to an imaginary being in the sky to come help them from the situation they are in, come save them from the situation that they are in, instead of actually getting out there and doing the thing that we need to do as a people. Hence why they wanted to fund 200 mosques in Burkina Faso. It's a strategy, a political strategy. And I'm so glad that Mr. Ibrahim Traore could see right through it. On that note, we've come to the end of this video. Let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are. Let's continue this conversation there. Thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, I'll be catching you in the next one. Bye.